Good day to everyone. Today I'm going to show you on how to create another basic materials. So to begin, let's start to create a basic glass material. So let's copy this blue material that we created in previous video, which is the part 1. So just duplicate this and let's name this material as blue glass. So let's open this. So to create a basic glass material in Unreal Engine, all we need to do is we're going to combine some of the connectors that we discussed earlier or previously in the basic materials part 1. So before we start, I'm going to discuss what nodes that we need or what parts of this node that we need to create a glass. So first, we need this specular. So we're going to use this specular to create some depth in a glass material. Then next is the roughness. We're going to add some smoothness in a glass material. But if you want a glass matte, you can put some you can put a value of 1 in the roughness. But if you want a shiny glass material, you can put 0 on this roughness. And next, especially the opacity. So the opacity is the important part of a glass material to make it a little bit transparent or transparent. It depends on a glass material that you want to create. And especially when we say glass, refraction is part of it. So we're going to use this refraction to make some depth on light that will pass through on our glass material. So let's start. So first, we're going to connect this specular in scalar parameter. So let's name this scalar parameter specular. And before we change the values of our specular parameters, so let's add another in roughness. So let's name this roughness. Next one is the opacity. Let's add another scalar. Then name this as opacity. And especially the refraction. So let's put scalar. Then let's name this refraction. So now we have all the nodes that we need. So we're going to change first the specular. So in specular, let's add some depth. So maybe 10. So let's start the default value of specular as 10. And let's leave the roughness 0. All we need is a shiny glass. But if you want a matte glass, you can change it to 1. It depends on what you need. But for me, I'm going to use 0 for smoothness. And opacity. So in opacity, um, let's make it half transparent. So let's say 0.5. And the refraction, let's use maybe 1. So we're going to change this later to make some blending or changes on our glass material. So now, what you can see is there are disabled part of the basic node of our material. So this opacity and refraction. That's why you can see any opacity and refraction because it is disabled. So to make it enabled, always remember the default blend mode of our basic material is always opaque. So to see the blend mode of the basic material, just select this basic node here and you can see the details panel. The blend mode is opaque. So all we need is the translucent. So once we select the translucent, you see the opacity and the refraction is enabled. But as you can see, the specular and the roughness turn to disabled. So after we change the blend mode of the basic material into translucent, we're going to go in the translucency, and under the translucency, we're going to select the lighting mode. In lighting mode, the default selected value is volumetric non-directional. So what we're going to do is let's change this into surface translucency volume. As you can see, once this material loaded, you can see all the connectors of our basic node is enabled. Always remember, to make a glass, you need to change the blend mode in translucent. And next, to apply the opacity and the refraction, and especially to enable the other basic connectors of this basic node, you need to change the lighting mode under translucency into surface translucency volume. And after that, you can see our glass material. We applied the specular as 10, the roughness into smooth, and the opacity as 0.5, and the refraction is 1. You can see the refraction. It's not visible when you see the surroundings behind the material. So what we're going to do is let's increase this refraction a little bit. Let's say increase it into 1.5. So let's wait to render the material. And as you can see, the refraction took effect when we applied 1.5. So if you need more refraction of your glass, you can increase it. It depends on how thick the glass you want to be or you want to create. So I think for me, 1.5 is enough. You can see some edges of the floor. It is refracted behind the material. And that's how it looks like in a cube. That's the glass. And let's check the flat surface. Because when you're applying a glass, it is mostly on windows, on wall frames, paintings. So you need to see the output of a glass in a flat surface like a thin glass, just like this one. So you see the refraction took effect on the edges of the background. And that's the example of how you create a basic glass in Unreal Engine 4. So let's return it into a sphere as a sample of our material. So that's the basic glass. So let's save this and let's apply this material in our level. So for a quick application, let just drag this material directly on an actor. And that is the example of the glass. So let's, as you can see, the refraction of the glass. So that's the example on how you create a basic glass in Unreal Engine 4. Now that we have a glass, next material is we're going to create a basic material that changes color. Let's say we create a blue-red transition material. So let's duplicate our original material, the material blue. Let's name this blue-red transition. So we're going to create a material that continuously transition its color from blue to red, from red to blue, and so on. So what we're going to do is add another vector. Let's add another vector like this one, but in red color. So let's drag another constant vector 3. Then let's find a suitable red color for our material. Okay, it. I think this red is enough. So to create a transitioning color in a material, what we're going to do is we're going to use a linear interpolate. So we're going to use linear interpolate to create or to create a transitioning color or texture material. So when we say linear interpolate, it blends two input values based on a third input value used as a mask. So we're going to blend blue and red as the color of our material using linear interpolate. So what we're going to do is we're going to connect the blue in A, the red in B. And after that, to make it transitioning, we're going to apply or we're going to connect the alpha into a sine. So sine is a mathematical uh, term used in computation. So this is the node that we're going to use to create a transitioning color. So sine will create a waveform of computation of colors like ups and downs. Means the sine will go up to red to blue, and then will go down to blue, red, and so on. So that's what sine is for. So to make it transition in time or in seconds, let's use a time node. So time is a node used to add a passage of time to a material. So it means in default, every second, it will read the sine value that we added. And it will throw the value to alpha and to the base color, just like this one. So in sine, it is default as 1 as its period. So every second, it'll change its color from blue down to red, next then up to blue, then down to red, and so on. So to make the transition of our color slower, all you need to do is increase the value of the period in sine. Let's say we change it into 4. And as you can see, the transition of red and blue gets slower. The higher the period you applied in sine, the slower the transition of the colors do in a base color. So the transition depends on, the speed of the transition depends on what material you are creating. So that's how we create a transitioning color in material. So now that we have a blue-red transition material, just save our material and we're going to apply it in our level. So just drag and drop the material to our actor. And this is the sample of a transitioning color of a material. So we have the blue-red transition. So now we have a blue-red transition material. Next, what we're going to do next is we're going to create a flickering light or a glowing light that changes its brightness, sort of. So what we're going to do is let's duplicate another. Let's duplicate the blue material for another new material. Let's name this blue pulse. So let's create a pulsing blue color. Okay. Let's create maybe pulsing blue. I hope this is the right term. Let's create a blue light pulse. Or what's the best term? Okay, pulsing blue light or flickering blue light. So let's create that kind of material. So to create the material, always remember when you want some transition, we use linear interpolate node. So if you want some pulsing light or a flickering light, all you need is the linear interpolate node. So what we're going to do is we're going to connect our vector blue in the A connector of our linear interpolate node. And we're going to connect this to our emissive color. Then next, we're going to add a time node because when you want some transition, some basic animation of a material, time is very important because it reads seconds in periods, or it depends on what you need in a material animation or transition. So we use time. And especially in transitioning color or transitioning light, design is very important. So we add sign here. So let's check the transition of our material. So let's connect this sign in B. And as you can see, the material is pulsing in a blue light. No? So the emissiveness changes depends on the time and depends on the value of sign that we added. So it the emissiveness changes ups and downs, or let's say 0 to 10, just like that. So 0 to 10 to 10 to 0, 0 to 10, and so on. Just like what is happening on blue-red transition using sine. So it transitions the light from dark to light, from light to dark, and so on. Okay, to make the the pulsing light of our material more random, what we're going to do is we're going to add more linear interpolate nodes, and we're going to add more sign to make it more random. And each sign has a different period. So all signs will be connected on our time. So let's disconnect this first sign, and let's add more linear interpolate. Then let's connect the first sign on the first interpolate node, the second sign to letter B, then the third sign to the second interpolate, and the fourth sign. And let's change the uh, period of each sign. So let's say this one is 1, then this one, let's say 10, and this one, let's do 30, and the fourth, let's make it 50. So we have 1, 10, 30, and 50. The next, we're going to connect these two linear interpolate node to another linear interpolate node, just like this one. And lastly, we're going to connect this one to our original linear interpolate node. So we're going to connect this on B. As you can see, the pulsing blue light changes randomly using our 4 signs with different values. So maybe we add some comment bubble here to uh, make it quickly visible that this sign is equal to 1 and this one is equal to 10. So just a little organized for our nodes. And this one is 50. So that's how we create a basic flickering or a pulsing light in Unreal Engine. So for me, we have the pulsing blue light. So let's save our pulsing blue light. In creating a pulsing light, it depends on how frequent the flickering or the pulsing is. No, it depends on the material you're creating or you want to create. So for me, the transition of the pulse or the flickering is enough. So you can add more sign or more combination of sine and other nodes here if you want the pulsing or flickering more randomly. So for me, this is enough to show you that we created a pulsing or flickering light material. So let's save this. Then let's apply our pulsing blue light to an actor. And as you can see, this is the example of pulsing blue light. It is randomly changed its emissiveness from 1, then from 10 to 30 to 50 randomly. That's how we create a flickering or pulsing light material in Unreal Engine.